All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome. So this is again Mr. Juan's class, computer graphics, art one, photography, and ceramics. So I'm continuing with what we or what I discussed with the class. We are going to be continuing to do assignments, projects that deal with the concept of art therapy. And this is gonna be one assignment I'm gonna have you guys work on for this week, and these are called emotion wheels. Okay, so what is an emotion wheel? So it's a visual tool to help group your feelings. It's sometimes associated, grouped by colors, associated with emotions of how you feel. It helps us to understand feelings and emotions with how we react to certain stimulus. So looking at this example here, this is like a very, very basic example of a emotion wheel. So in some cases, it's kind of like very, very similar to a color wheel, at least with like how things are organized and how it looks. The only difference though is usually it's going to be associated with an emotion for each of these little sections. And again, if you look up, emotion wheel or even like emotion color wheel, you're gonna have a lot of different examples of what these colors represent. But obviously red's gonna be anger. Um, sad is blue. I'm kind of wondering why they chose green for happy, but I'm guessing it's for like kind of like nature and growth in a way. Surprise is kind of like more like caution, but again, these colors and these feelings, emotions, they can be interpreted differently. Like for example, disgust, that could be an example of green if you were to kind of like flip this down here, just because we usually associate green with throw up or throwing up in general. So now, how many emotions can a human experience? So this is actually one of the important reasons why people develop or use these emotion wheels. So it's actually a really surprising, staggering number. So we had about like three different emotions right here, or about six of them, but there's actually 34,000 different emotions that we feel. So even this isn't really 34,000, but this is like a good chunk of different types of emotions, feelings that a person can feel at a certain time or place or event. So with so many different emotions, it is difficult to navigate your feelings without getting lost. It's simply more than feelings of sad, happy, and angry. We use an emotion wheel as a guidance. So the reason why we use like this emotion wheels, we have to like kind of determine like how we're feeling, what emotions we're feeling. Because for example, you may feel sad, but it might be like a different version of sad. For example, maybe you might feel grief, empty, or isolated. And then some of these are a little bit confusing with what they are. Like for example, if we look at let's look at angry here. So angry. If you look at the word violated, so, in some cases, violated could, be an example of fearful, but, this is actually more of an example of angry. So, if you're really kind of confused on like some of these different types of emotions, like for example, numb, that could, be another example of sad, but, this is actually more toward, what angry feels. So, if you're looking at like these more detailed examples of like how people feel, it gives you like a better example of the bigger category. So, why it's important to understand emotions. So, you have those 34,000 distinct emotions. So it is challenging to understand them all. It's important to identify primary emotions and act accordingly. So, just like I mentioned before, you have these really detailed examples of, how you feel. And this actually gives you like a better general idea of like how these emotions or how you feel with these. And this is important because once you understand like your primary emotion, it's gives you a good idea of like how to act accordingly. Because obviously some of these emotions that you feel, that it's intense feelings, and sometimes when you have these intense feelings that you're not really sure of like how you're feeling, or like what you're feeling or what emotion you're dealing with, it is kind of hard to find or keep in mind of an objective. So you cannot remain objective in your mind. Also helps you deal with fight or flight responses. So just kind of give you an example of why it's important to understand emotions. I'll actually give you like two different examples. One example is if you're at a social gathering or party, some people experience social anxiety. Okay, so not everybody experiences social anxiety, but some people do. Obviously, when you're feeling social anxiety, you feel like you're not a part of the group, but in reality, though, you still want acceptance from the group. So this person's like lonely, everybody else is having fun in the party, and then this person's kind of like wondering why can't I have fun, or why can't I feel like I'm a part of the group. So understanding these feelings, and they do feel nervous most of the time. It is important to understand this feeling of isolation and anxiety. So it's important for your psyche. So obviously you'd be less hard on yourself once you understand like what emotion you feel, and not understanding it though may lead to panic and out of control. So in this case though, if you don't understand like why you're feeling like why you feel in this certain case, sometimes it may lead to panic attacks. Some people, if you go like even extreme, they get like depressed, and then they feel like suicidal because like they feel like they can't fit in with society. They don't have any friends. So it is important to like understand these things, because once you have an understanding of like why do I, for example, if we were looking for nervousness, so find nervous. So yeah, nervous is right here with fear. So nervous, they feel rejected, weak. In some cases, in extreme cases, they may feel worthless because they can't really get over it. So they understand that they feel fear in themselves. And once you have a good understanding of like I'm feeling like fearful now, it kind of gives you like understanding of like, oh, obviously this is like something that I'm scared of. And not only are you probably dealing with it, but there's a lot of other people that deal with social anxiety. So it's kind of like a normal thing that people deal with. Some people deal better than others, but you aren't the like only person that's dealing with feelings of being fearful. Just having a better understanding of that though, it kind of gives you like better control on like what's like what your objectives are, what you need to do to in order to kind of like overcome this fear. So another example, and this is kind of like relating to like what's going on in the world right now. So protesters and the pandemic. So I don't know if you guys been like keeping track of the news lately, but Trump left governors the option to open up their states, so they can open up like the mall, barbers, like all the stores, just to like kind of like restart the economy again. And there is like some debate and all that, because some states they probably can restart their reopen stores, and others obviously it's really bad, like for example like New York, there's like no option with reopening again. But it caused a lot of people to protest and end the shutdown, and it's just like not really a safe thing to do at this moment. So obviously these protesters, they're feeling angry, anger and fear. So we go back to that chart again. We see fearful, um, oh, not fearful, anger. So these are like all the different things that they feel angered. A lot of people feel annoyed, they feel hostile, um, disrespected, betrayed. So these are a lot of feelings that people are feeling that are protesting. So um, obviously the reason why they're feeling like this, because lost people lost jobs, are unemployed, and they can't support themselves, and they're losing their businesses. But due to these emotions of anger and fear, their minds can't remain objective. So kind of like the whole purpose of like why we're we shut down the country, we're social distancing or isolating, is because, again, this virus is very, very contagious. And, all the things that they're doing in this protest, they're not doing any social distancing here. I only see about 1, 2, 3 people with like maybe 4 people back here, but I don't see that many people with putting on masks. But essentially they're spreading the virus. So in a way, since they're feeling angry and scared, or maybe just angry and frustrated, they don't really see the problems that they're causing. They're really selfish and like their own problems that they're dealing with. But since they're spreading the virus, or not doing these unsafe things, it's making it worse for everybody else. So they don't understand the consequences of their actions, endangering the lives of many others. Understanding that you feel angry and fearful and acting out process isn't a solution for now. Okay, and then also, they don't understand at this time that, other people are feeling sad over losing other loved ones during the virus. So, again, like I said before, it's a very small percentage, compared to like the entire United States. We got like billions and billions of people. It's a very small percentage of people that have died from the coronavirus. So, these people that are out protesting, this virus has not affected their family or their friends. It's kind of like, they hear these stories, but they don't actually see it, happening where they live. So, they really don't understand like the bigger problem or the bigger picture of, what's going on. There's a lot of people dying, and there could be a lot more people dying if, they don't protest correctly, or do the social distancing that we've mentioned before. So it's just important that you have a good understanding of your emotions, your feelings. Obviously, you want to act out on certain emotions depending on like how you feel, but you really have to look at the bigger picture of things. Whether it's the example social anxiety, where oh hey, I'm not the only one that's dealing with this. When you're at a party, you might be feeling like you're the only one dealing with this, but there are a lot of people in the world that deal with social anxiety, and it's okay to like have those feelings. Obviously you want to like think about like steps to overcome this problem, this situation. But whether it's like trying to make like one friend at the party, maybe two, but you don't have to like kind of like put yourself all out there. Try to like just like try to talk and make friends with a few people. Or example of this where it's they're angry, they're frustrated, they want to just like let everybody know that we need to have the country open. But in reality though, you're really making it worse for everybody else that's trying to do the right thing. Still a couple of things to keep in mind. So moving on though, we're just going to make a motion color wheel. Not I say like a motion wheel, motion color wheel, but essentially just making like a wheel of these different emotions. So I want you to think about 6, 8 different emotions that you may feel about the last couple of weeks we've been out of school. So you probably felt like a wide range of different emotions. So I really want you to think carefully about like all the types of emotions that you feel. Because in some cases though, you might feel some more negative emotions and then less positive, or some of you may have felt more positive ones than negative ones. But I want you to do like kind of like a wide range of different emotions that you feel. So I'm gonna attach a emotion wheel for you guys to look at. It'll be like the same wheel that's on here. I think this is like a really good list of different emotions that a person could feel. So I'll post that on there, and basically create. I keep saying like color wheel, but just I want you guys to color it and just section it off into the 6 to 8 emotions that you chose. Label what those sections are. draw how you feel in each of those sections. And you may use markers, color pencils, or you can shade with your pencil. So the only thing I don't suggest doing though is, don't do any photo collaging, even though I left that kind of like open. With that, I don't know how you would do this with like sculpture or 3D, but we're just gonna keep this as a drawing for now, just because what I'm gonna have you guys do later with this wheel though is we're gonna choose like one of those sections to do kind of like as a big project for your art therapy. So in essence, though, this emotion color wheel that we're making, this will just be like kind of like like thumbnail sketches just to brainstorm some ideas. Just to show you some examples of like things you can do though. This is like pictures I grabbed on the internet. If you wanted to though, each of those sections, you see like love, happy, gratitude, hurt, anxious. So these are like different emotions that somebody could feel. If you wanted to, you can do like different patterns, textures. You can, incorporate colors too. So if you like markers, color pencils, someone you can incorporate colors. But one example of something you could do though is it doesn't have to be anything that's like representational. So you can do like different shapes. So like for example, sad, like these ovals kind of remind me of like tears that are falling. Happy, you see like these stars, these dots, different colors. Kind of remind me of like confetti, like almost like a party in a way. So you can do something really abstract like that. And this one here, yeah, I like what they did with anger here. They use the color red. There's a lot of like zigzags, so these zigzags kind of like represent action. The same with scared here too. Uh, sad again. They're making like those tear shapes. And happy is kind of like more like a colorful ones. You can incorporate colors, abstract shapes. You can make it really abstract if you want. Another example too, you can do is if you have like characters or drawings of like things that you like them. I know like some of my students, you guys like the some of you guys that like to draw a lot. You kind of like made up your own character or your own like figurine or something. So you can do like your characters and like different emotions and different feelings. I think this would be kind of like fun if you have like your own character. If you want to like, even like draw like other like things like other cartoons, you can do that as one of your wheels. And then the other one example you can do too is you can make it more representational or make it more iconic. So if you want to draw like like something that's representational, happy, like this present here. So a lot of times when we get gifts, we feel happy. Excited is being with friends. This one's like they hurt their leg, so they feel sad. Trying to think about proud. It looks like a medal, and it looks like a medal for this person, doing like ballet dancing. So it can be more representational. This one's got like a flag, so they're proud to be American. So yeah, one option is you can be you can make more representational, more iconic for the drawings. All right, but just like all these examples that you looked at, though, if you look at it, they've kind of sectioned up in like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then they just kind of like label it what it is on the edges. That's kind of like the common thing with all of these. So, just like I mentioned before, though, you can do 6 to 8 different emotions, but I do want you to draw out the entire wheel. Okay, so I actually did one myself. I did one on the computer, and I'll kind of zoom in so you guys can take a look at what I did. So again, these drawings, they don't have to be the best drawings in the world. I want you to think of this as more of like thumbnails, rough sketches, kind of like we're just planning out like what we want to do for like kind of like the main project. So like sadness here, I kind of related to like what's happening now in the world. There's a lot of people dying. That's sad. Free, I have like this hand, the handcuffs. They kind of like break out of the handcuffs. So I kind of put down free though, it's just because I feel like with teaching now, like we have a little bit more freedom with like how we can like teach you guys. We're not really tied down too much with grades because it's more of like pass or incomplete now. So it's we kind of give like a little bit more freedom with how we teach you guys. It's not really tied down to grades and tests now. So I want to do something that's kind of like more helpful for all of us. So I do enjoy that freedom that we have with education now. It's more like something iconic though, kind of like breaking out of like the the things that constrain us. Worried. So it's just like I did all these different eyes. Like there's something a little bit more conceptual, where it's just a lot of different worried eyes because we kind of like look at what a lot of the news and we get worried about it. Limited, obviously, we can't go out and do the things that we want, and fear is kind of like this is like stock markets. Economies, not doing well, but that should be something you guys shouldn't be worried about though. But um, these are like the drawings that I did though. But I want you to do like a drawing for each of those sections. I didn't do it for these three just because I didn't really have too much time to do it. But I want you to do it for like all of them though. And then just kind of like label the different emotions that you feel. All right. So again, just make sure to email me if you have any questions with the assignment. If you can though, try to use markers, color pencils. If not, just do the drawing with a regular pencil, and you can shade it. It's fine if you can't color it though. So I kind of go back and forth like a motion wheel, motion color wheel. It is essentially we're just creating an emotion wheel. Okay, and probably the hardest thing that you'll probably have to do with this emotion wheel is actually drawing the circle. Okay, so just try your best to draw the circle. If you have like like containers, like a big container that's like a round container, you can use that as kind of like a tracing tool if you have like a big container. If not, try your best to draw a circle. It doesn't have to be perfect, or if you want, you can do like a box too, or like kind of like a diamond too. So whatever is easiest for you. But, just draw a shape though that you can section off into 6 to 8 parts of your different emotions. All right. Oh, and one last thing too. If you're kind of curious a little bit more about like, this emotion wheel, or like, like learning more about like, how to, define or find your emotions. I recommend watching this video. I'll link this video to you guys. So, it says "Why You Feel What You Feel" by Alan Watkins. So, watching this video, it kind of like taught me something real important about like understanding your emotions, your feelings. Um, a lot of times we kind of try to run away from our emotions and feelings. So, like right now we're kind of like dealing with a difficult and hard situation right now. So, a lot of people nowadays, they either binge watch on TV, they play video games all day, or some of your parents may be drinking all day. So, they do like these like things that are not helpful for themselves, and they try to run away for like how they feel or like their emotions. A lot of times when people deal with like difficult situations, they kind of just either keep themselves busy with something to kind of like run away from those feelings or run away from those problems. This video is kind of like explains like all those different things, and teaches you really about like dealing with your emotions and your feelings, and not running away from it. And it's okay though, because it's you're not the only one that's feeling it. There's a lot of people at this time. They're feeling really sad. They're feeling really angry, frustrated, fearful. So you know, it's okay to talk about. It's okay to express it in your art, which is kind of like what we're doing right now. We're laying those feelings and emotions out in our art, and it's it may if you especially if you don't like art, it may not feel like it's helping you out, because you may have like anxiety or, but like I mentioned before in the beginning, I'm not gonna be grading you on the artwork or the quality art. I just want you to just like put something down on the paper, and just let those emotions out, because when you let them out, you'll feel a lot better. Some people like to let it out through, talking and discussing with other people. We're gonna basically be doing it through our art. Art's a little bit more individual. It's a little bit more private. So everybody has like that ability of doing that. All right, but again, just send me an email if you have any questions or if you're not sure of what to do. And oh yeah, also when you turn in the work, just like how you turned in your other assignments before, you can take a picture of your drawing. Also, I know some of you guys may have like tablets or you can draw on the computer. You can do a drawing on the computer. The only thing I don't recommend though is don't do a photo collage on the computer. I tried to do one. It was a lot more work than it needed to be, but just like I mentioned before with this project, if probably the next thing we'll do though is we'll probably choose one of these different emotions and kind of like plan out a bigger drawing, bigger art piece out of it. For example, maybe I want to explore this worried with the eyeballs a little bit more. Maybe I might plan on doing like a drawing on the computer, or maybe I can do like a collage of, or photo collage of like different eyes. We can plan a little bit more on like one of these ideas that you want to kind of like dive deeper in. So this is kind of like almost like a little thumbnails that we're doing in like a little pie chart in a way. All right, but again, just let me know in an email if you have any questions. All right, take care and stay safe.